Hello, and welcome back to Wyverns and Weirdos, where we cannot seem to catch a technical break. This week, something's going wrong with the main audio interface, so we're using my backup / portable interface, which is only 2 channels, but using the usual interface as a mixer. Because
could you say that we're running on bi-channels? I apologize, but not really.
All right. So, before we get started properly, these are all the beautiful things that the audio listeners miss, because they've just got me doing a quick introduction over the music. But before we jump in, does anyone have any announcements?
As per usual, hit me up on Twitter at eCareens. Also, check out some other D&D podcasts if you like ours. I have some pals over at D&D is for Nerds, so
yeah,
they're pretty good. What are you doing?
Getting ready for my announcement.
Not to date this episode at all, but they're currently
they're currently
America,
at D&D Live in America,
where Wizards of the Coast have basically told all their fans to go to hell.
Yeah. So they're off doing that at the moment.
Great
so
thing being that by the time that comes out, these guys will be at a level that'll be
that we can run that.
Nice to... Well, we might be able to try running it as a side quest, but it'll definitely be a level that I can throw some hell at you.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I might
fun.
not, but you'll be at an
I'm not
appropriate
looking
level
forward
for...
Yeah.
I mean, it'll... Look, what else am I going to do with 5 Pit Fiend minis?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't want to meet them right now.
So, stay tuned for our eventual demise. But yeah, no, check out some other cool D&D podcasts, and also hit me up on Twitter and recommend podcasts to me, because I love podcasts. It's why I'm in one. It's why I started D&D in the first place. So yeah, hit me up on Twitter.
Mine isn't an announcement, it's more of a reminder. I myself have just enjoyed some delicious water, and I recommend all of you listeners to hydrate yourselves and or take a toilet break before this podcast starts. I can keep this going for 10 hours because this is a 10-hour water pouring compilation.
So if you really needed to pee and were trying to hold back on that because you're on the train listening to us or something like that, I apologize.
Hell, listen to us on the toilet. We don't care. We can't see it.
Hell, listen to us on the toilet. Wyverns and Weirdos.
That's our first shirt.
Yes.
And yeah, of course, dear listeners, I know you're clamoring for it. Bertie's Elixir with same great taste, now with 50% less lead. So yeah, thank you, and yeah, follow me on places on the internet at Raydariant, which will probably be in the description. It's awesome. So yeah, enjoy the podcast, I hope.
Nice. And I don't have anything outside of the usual. Follow me on socials. It's in the description, whatever service you're using to see this. So without further ado, let's jump on into this week's episode of Wyverns and Weirdos. So, where we last left off, the party, after a couple of days relative respite in Wild Shade, managed to completely botch essentially a murder mystery that they had no business in investigating.
We didn't necessarily botch it. We just kind of...
you just botched your own investigations.
Yeah.
We're just kind of there at the gate going, let us in, we want this plot.
It just didn't really hit the ground running, you know? It just, the car kind of putted along and then broke down completely. And we were like, well, we're at our front door. Let's just go back home.
We were at the front door of a brothel when it broke down.
But the brothel just so happened to be next door. It wasn't a far walk.
Meanwhile, I was about to say Jarl. Neumann managed to catch the attention of a local alchemist and head alchemist, in fact, of the Arcane Convocation.
Sorry.
Who, after hearing of their interactions with members of the Wizards of the Ruins, asked them to go down and investigate, giving them the rest of the day to basically gather supplies while he tries to pull some strings with his contacts and get some favors and basically manage to get you down there quicker, expedite your journey, so to speak.
Teleportation, baby.
Yes. All right. So, is there anything you would like to do in preparation?
I've only got one health potion. I think I've only got one health potion. Hang on, I think he gave us some potions. Let me just double check that. Okay, no, I have a total of 3 potions. Will that be enough?
You do not know.
looks towards the gods and
Anya might...
waits for a sign.
I mean, you and Laura are both capable of casting Cure Wounds and Healing Word.
Anya might go to a potion store.
Alright. Let me just find it in my notes.
Oh, I have potions. I might have bought them last session.
No, we got given some potions by.
Yes, Cigar gave you some potions.
yeah,
but
he did.
I had previously.
I still want to go anyway
If
because
you
I want to
want-
see
yeah.
if there's any useful potions that aren't health potions. Well, like, there are obviously just generally useful potions that aren't health potions, but
Yeah,
maybe
as
the
long as
team
they're
might
not-
be interested in.
As long as they're not like
Yes.
fancy lightning potions, which cost like 5,000 gold when you only have a total of 200.
Yeah.
See, I must
that
have bought
rubbish
something
general
last
goods
session that I
stuff.
can't remember what it was because I have significantly less gold than
I've
I
just
have.
realized, I think that 5,000 gold is actually a steal for what that item was, now that I think about it.
Well,
having
we're
having
poor.
priced some other items recently.
Maybe one day I'll use True Strike. Sorry, I'm just looking over my character sheet and I'm like, oh yeah, I have that spell.
I mean,
It's one
you're
of the
probably one of the
3
few
spells
people
that I
who
can.
can make use of it because you are a scout.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, a lot of people view it as a rather trash cantrip because it's using 2 actions for the 1 attack.
I'm gravely underutilizing Hafren. Because I keep forgetting he has Mimicry. Mimicry. Sorry.
Now,
Mimicry.
point of interest that I remembered, you don't have a 100 gold pearl
Ooh, loser.
for identify.
Right.
Now, we'll say, because the only thing you really identified was the sword, which you
I
would-
did use it as a ritual cast. Does that make any difference?
still needs the material component.
Yeah.
The pearl isn't consumed upon casting, but you need to have it. But we'll say you still know the sword because you are attuned to it, and as an artificer,
Because
I
that
can-
sword
I
cursed,
can knock
yo.
off 100 gold if you want.
I mean, yeah, you
Like,
can
I'm
go.
not-
You can go
I'll just be sad about it.
yeah.
Come buy the potions.
Yeah.
The potion seller surely will have knick-knack.
Oh yeah, no, but I've already used identify.
Yeah.
Retconning, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to add a roleplay element into the roleplay podcast that we are currently doing.
Okay. But I've already got the pearl. I bought it for 100 gold earlier.
Apologies then. I thought that all of your incessant whining was because you did not have a pearl, but apparently it is just because you do have a pearl. I'm going to buy potions. If you would like to come, you may come.
Well, I originally would have, but upon checking my savings recently, I've just noticed that I've actually got 100 less than I thought I had. So
Pearl costs a bit more than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should stay here then. Bertie, would you like to come
How
along?
much gold have you got?
Buy some potion?
Currently, I've got 160.
I might. What?
Roll me a wisdom
what
saving
store
throw.
would she be going to? Is the question.
What's this saving throw for?
Oh.
15?
What was the DC?
No, wisdom save. Yeah, 15.
Yeah, what was the DC? Because we did have a DC for this. DC 10. Okay, you make the success. So there's a voice niggling in your head saying, "Get some potions, get some potions."
I'll come. I was
But you
going to come
managed-
along anyway.
You managed to shake off that feeling by going like,
What's
Is
the
it-
I'd
magic
like
of
those
this?
potions,
Can Bertie have it?
but
Does
I
the
can't
sword
afford
want
them.
potions?
it's thirsty.
I don't want to be spending that money.
No,
That sword thirsty.
I'll come along and see what's there, but I don't know. We'll see how we go.
All right, so
What potion stores are
Yeah,
about?
what's the potion store they're going to? Because that will affect whether Bertie wants to go or not.
Yeah.
Potion seller?
So the main
I was waiting.
the main one would be the Griffin's Emporium. That
Yeah, Bertie's not going there, so that's why you'd be like, yeah, that's fine.
The Griffin's Emporium, is that not the place that the potential murderer was?
Yeah.
Perhaps we can pick up our investigation again.
Well,
Two adventures, one stone.
you can do that. I'll come for the walk, but I might just not go in.
But were you not
I'll
wanting
keep
to
guard
get
for
potions
that.
yourself? We can go somewhere else.
Well, I am.
I mean, we have an adventure
I'm a
already.
potions vendor, so you know.
If you
So
want-
you already have potions, or
Yeah,
You
well,
want more
It's
potions?
fine, it's fine. Well, we can go. Let's go.
do you want potions? Do you not want potions? You are both very indecisive today.
I can be your proxy if you'd like to give me some money. I'll
It's
shop
fine.
for you.
It's fine. They're very expensive though, so
I will be happy for you to give me money. However, you
roll me a
did say
deception check.
Why is there a deception check?
Because
He's not saying don't go there. He's just saying.
because you said they were very expensive there.
He's not saying don't go there. You're just like, oh, he's lying about saying that they're expensive.
But you are.
It's a.
Like you've been told that they're.
Alt text though. It's 9.
There's still a deception.
Hold on.
No, hang on. Bertie
what's-
genuinely believes that they are expensive to him though.
insight is counter deception, yeah? Oh no!
Yeah, I see what you got. You're done, son.
What did you get?
Nah. 20!
Okay. He says they're very expensive.
So you get the feeling that like Bertie does believe that they're very expensive, but
yeah, precisely.
But that it's
there
very
might be-
untrue.
but there's something that he's holding back from that equation.
Look, this is Bertie. I like you might have a very nice opinion of him, but probably most of the things he says don't sound entirely sincere.
Yeah.
So that's
Hey,
not a surprise.
Bertie!
And you've kind of gathered by this point that he's
Bertie's
also a
sus.
little
Bertie,
bit.
I
He's
mean,
a little bit
you
sus.
threatened him with the sword
yeah,
either
yeah.
last episode
Yeah.
or 2 episodes ago.
He's a little bit
we
sus.
record him in
He's a
bulk.
little bit of a
I'm sorry.
cheapskate.
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
So Bertie, my friend,
Yes.
is what happened between you and the store seller?
Oh, we just just didn't get along. I might not be allowed to step foot back into that emporium. Is the main gist of the matter here.
Well, I reiterate the proxy suggestion then.
It's fine. I don't really need anything, so I'll be good.
So, do you think that a woman of my skills, that
Yes.
this person would try to overcharge me?
Well, I'm not sure. It depends on what sort of tactic it is. Maybe she'll get along with you better.
Roll me an insight, Birdie. Just
Okay.
to try to gather from what time you spent with her.
Only 9.
9. I mean, you remember she claimed to be basically the cheapest prices for magical items in Wild Shade?
I mean, she claimed to be the person for the cheapest magical items in Wild Shade, but I mean, who knows? Not useful for me anyway. But you kids run along.
I am pretty young.
Are you sure you do
youngest
not
in the
want us to go somewhere else?
By a long shot.
It's fine. I'll come for the walk. I just won't come in.
Okay.
I've got some reading to do, so it's fine. I'll just stay outside.
Ah, yes. You and your reading.
Yeah, I love to read. Let's go. This is great. I'm having a fun conversation here.
Alright.
Yeah, we do that.
So
Take
yeah,
that.
you get to the Griffin's Emporium and hello. What can I help you with?
I would like to inquire about any potions you have that would be useful in adventuring, that are not health potions.
Ooh, other than health potions, what kind of a budget are we looking at?
Say if you were to pick a gold price between 0 and 360. Somewhere in between there.
Alright.
With about 5 silver pieces difference.
I'm afraid there's not much in stock at the moment beyond the healing potions, but we do have this one. And she takes out like a bottle separated into brown, silver, and grey, almost like bands of stone in the bottle. So she shakes up the bottle, and the bands of colour don't mix at all. This is a potion of climbing. Allows you to climb as well as you walk.
Sorry, just checking my acrobatics there. And how much would that potion be?
75 gold.
75? Yes. Are there any other potions of interest that you could recommend to me?
Not in your price range today, unfortunately.
Darn, I was hoping to do a bundle.
Right. So, is there anything else? Did you want some health potions while you're here, or?
Oh, no. I think that maybe I will just take this potion, but is there any chance you will do any cheaper? I would really appreciate. We have such an important journey ahead of us, and I would desperately like to find the best possible price that I can. I'm gonna roll a persuasion.
Yeah, roll a persuasion check.
It's my persuasion. So it's a 12 plus 9 because her persuasion is unreal.
Holy moly.
So that's a 21.
Look, if you'd like a potion of healing, I can do you both for 100 gold.
What kind of potion of healing?
Just a regular one, but that's still a substantial markdown.
And just out of character, what healing does the regular
So
one do?
that's 2d4 plus 2.
I will cop that.
And
Yes.
they usually cost 50 gold, so
Yeah.
you're basically getting 25 gold off your purchase all up.
No, that's perfect.
which is quite substantial.
I, as a
Yeah,
player,
it'd be
will
sick.
take that,
For,
and also Anya will take that.
yes.
So I
Alright.
better add. And it was potion of climbing too, wasn't it?
Yes. I was going to try to flick this over, but I'll just bring it over. Hello, audience. Terrifying.
They can only see a tie. So
Ah.
it was terrifying. But oh, I'm sorry.
I hurt.
You know, Chris Perkins introduced double disadvantage this weekend.
Double disadvantage for everyone.
Further dating
We
this
will
episode.
die.
Double disadvantage on comedic roles.
All right, and you, sir.
Ah, yes. Hola, amigo. I myself am looking for some potions. However, my budget is not quite as good, you see, as my friend here. So I'm also interested in those health potions. I am the one who does take the most damage. So I
You
guess
are-
you could say in our
How you
party,
would say
so-
the party tank?
And he like holds out his arms in like a T pose and goes, and as you can see, I'm not quite as you would say durable. So I don't know. Have you got anything? Maybe potions would be nice, but is there any maybe magical items that come to mind, or at least not magical, but what's the word I'm looking for? Enhancing items, perhaps something that might help me.
I can't believe on this day, the 20th of May 2019, you used the phrase T-pose in a D&D podcast.
But that's what it is. Like T-pose isn't that
I'm
thing
I'm
standing in a
sure
corner of a room.
I'm sure Critical Role have done it.
Yeah.
And any animation people, artists associate T-posing with models in their default state.
All right, nerd.
Thank you very much.
I've done T-pose.
Nerd.
Please draw this, fans.
I myself
love
am a
you.
T-poser. I act like I like tea, but I really don't.
Oh.
Triple
Oh.
disadvantage.
Yeah. Told y'all it'd be a weird episode.
Unfortunately, I don't. But potions of healing are usually 50 gold a piece. However, if you're able to afford a few, then maybe we can reach a deal.
Have I mentioned that he is going on the same adventure as me? It's very important adventure. Would you do 2 potions for 50?
Neumann like puts his arm like around your shoulder, like pulls you in, like saying, "This is my buddy." Yeah, I am, but he butts in. He butts in with what you're saying as well. I am myself wanting to buy a few, so yeah, maybe a bundle would be a good idea. I heard my friend got a little bit of cheap price, which is. It would be nice if I could.
Is this you wanting to make your own persuasion roll?
Yeah.
I think it should be Jake's
Yeah.
to make, but do it with advantage because you've got Anya helping you.
Because we are a team after all. And without me alive, there won't be a team for long.
You really needed that advantage, didn't you? You rolled a 1 the first
No,
time.
that was a 7.
Oh, what?
Oh.
But this is.
I can't tell on your dice.
This isn't much better. So that's an 11.
11. So
I'm
2
the
potions.
persuasive dude in this party.
Yeah, no, like
Wow.
I hate.
I could probably do you 2 for 90 gold.
I'm not actually saying this. Is just
Oh,
something I wanted to say.
saving it.
100 gold and we've got a deal. But that's not something I actually said. That's just something. That
It sounds like something Newman would say, though. You
No,
should just do
that's
it.
something that Us would say. He would go 99 and we have a deal.
No, but like the way you said it and everything is
Yes.
perfect. for me.
Yeah, no, I'll take that. That was how much was that? That was 90.
90 gold, and you've got 2 potions of healing.
Okay, outstretches his paw and he goes, "We've got a deal."
He's got a paw. I always forget
Alright.
he has paws and not hands.
That should
All
be
right.
a lot higher persuasion. 'Cause people
It's
just like,
it's
oh,
extra
fuck you.
grips actually. Like the pads actually hold on to weapons and things a lot because of the pads. It's a lot more
That's
sort of a lot more
adorable.
friction going on. You know? So a lot more surface area and sort of like.
It's making me picture there's 2 cats that are in this house that we are in right now, and it's making me picture both of them like with their tiny little paws holding tiny little swords.
So cute.
Make it happen, Darby.
Yeah.
dear.
So, is there anything else you guys want to do?
We were possibly going to see a person at the magic place that Cigar mentioned, that there was someone who specialized in the wizards, the ancient wizards, knowledge-wise. However, Cigar said he might not be available to talk to at the moment, but maybe we can check in.
He's also not local.
Not
It's
local.
somewhere else. Okay.
Nowhere we can maybe possibly get in contact with him. Like not physically,
Not-
but mentally, like
Not that
magically.
Not that you currently know of, beyond the fact that the Convocation are based out of Durham.
We should go.
Yeah, we go.
We
but,
go.
So it's in the morning that you'll meet up with.
We
Cigar.
sleep.
Yeah. What are you
Maybe?
doing? What are you
Unless
doing?
Birdie wants. What do you want, Birdie?
So first, Darby, I want to look at the book that I actually bought from that shop. Does that tell me any other information apart from the info dump that's in the guidebook? Or that was about the age of, I think.
So there's bits and pieces. Remind me what languages you speak.
So I currently, I just speak Common, Elvish, and Merrymish.
Common, Elvish, and Gnomish. So there's bits and pieces you recognise that seem to be fairly dry history, mostly kind of stuff from the book,
Fair enough.
from the guide. There's probably some finer detail in there that I've got to get around to writing up.
Yeah.
I'll do that when we go on our. I'll try to get some of that done when we're on our little hiatus, which you guys shouldn't notice, but these guys will.
I'll be crushed.
Yes.
Excellent. So I guess we can just assume that
and-
it's in the guidebook.
Yeah,
He'll
but
know.
there's also some stuff in languages you don't recognize.
Cool.
I was
So-
gonna say we could record like tiny mini episodes, just the three of us, with during our hiatus. But then I remembered that
Without Darby.
Darby is the brains of this operation and knows
I also
how to
have all
run all the
the-
equipment and do all the
It's
things.
true.
I mean, I wrap up what I'm doing at like 8:30, so if we wanted to do like a more low-key chat kind
Yeah.
of thing,
We could do
we
that.
could do that.
Like,
We just can't. We're not gonna have enough time for a session.
yeah. fair
We'll
enough.
keep you posted,
Yeah.
audience.
You'll find out.
Yes. Oh.
Bless you.
Wanna cut that out?
Yeah, Darby cut that.
Hits the town of
Might kill people's ears.
Wild Shade. Is that where we're going?
Yes.
Yeah, he probably peaked the mics. Please cut this.
Yeah, fortunately, I think I'll be able. Visually, there'll be very little I can do for that, but I can mute it. We're gonna have all this
We'll
talk
get
in
sued.
the video cut.
Yeah.
But-
the microphone is a fair distance away from you, so hopefully you
Yeah.
didn't
Easy.
get too-
It doesn't look like it peaked.
Chop it off.
If you're watching the video cut, apologies for all the finger guns I keep doing at the camera, and also for whatever it was that Jake did
Mild explosion.
while that conversation was happening, because it was wild.
Rest in peace, headphone users.
Yeah,
But-
definitely cut it
But
out
the
on
yeah,
podcast.
Because everyone who wears headphones
I will jump.
has
and probably
died.
Have a panic attack
the
if I'm
the
listening to it.
scripts of the languages in here that you do not recognize. You can tell there's at least a few different languages from the vastly different scripts.
Cool
used.
stuff. So, just as a
Um,
me thing saying that
In
something's
fact,
gonna be
roll me a generalized intelligence check.
Oh no. Well, I'm rolling really badly tonight.
Yeah, your roll's done.
Jeez.
Do you want to trade out for one of my dice?
I may have to. What worries me?
Or I've got.
Oh, applied intelligence check. That's a plus 0, so that's a 3.
Do you want
Three.
my metal
Yeah.
dice? Here, you can have mine.
You do not recognize any of these texts, nor do they
It's not
kind of ring
clever
any
enough.
bells of like this is similar to this kind of thing
That's
or
fair
anything like
enough.
that.
Cool stuff. He's also when like we get back to the tavern or something, he's gonna go and check out the other book. But yeah, that's what he's doing while these guys are in the tavern.
All right.
He's just reading.
All right. So, yeah, you get back to the tavern. It's another, what is it? It's something like 2 silver, 5 silver for the night. I need to double check that. I should have.
If it's 5 silver, is it 5 silver for the
I think
4 of us or 5 silver each?
5 silver each. And
Cool.
I think that was right from memory because I seem to remember it going to around.
Cool, because I have 5 silver in loose
so it's
change, so
two
that's
gold
perfect.
all up between you.
Excellent.
Yeah. So five silver each, because Tanap's in the room as well. So that's something you've got to decide. Are you taking Tanap?
Yes. Probably will have to. Also, Darby, how much did you make? This is very important. How
That
much
cash
did you-
money.
Yeah, I need it for my leisure. I need those dollars.
If you're listening
Come on,
along at
girl.
home and you are just really into maths and finances and accounting,
Oh, yeah.
show us the ledgers that you have created. Tweet us.
Yeah, I'd love to
If
see it.
Eventually Bertie will realise that there's more money in adventuring, but today is not that day.
Look, he's not turning down the adventuring jobs. He's got other
What's wrong
jobs
with
to do.
making money on the
He needs a
side?
lot of money.
You also forget,
If you're good at something, don't do it for free.
That's it.
you also forget that Bertie got a substantial amount of income on the very, very first
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Precise.
But that was the fluke of like, this is festival time where people are spending money.
That was the fluke of Eddie and Jake are
Yeah.
good at third-party
Role-playing.
character voices.
That too.
Plenty of money. Yeah, come on, how much cash money did Tanner
Alright,
pull?
so this is
Remember, Anya was not very well helping her.
Oh no, Anya very bad at helping. Eddie very good at
so
helping.
probably about 15 gold over the course of the day.
Oh, nice. Good to know.
You probably are running quite low on stock at this
Yeah.
point. Your glasses.
Do not.
Cool.
For any of you listening along at home, Jake just stood up and started backpack kid dancing. Flossing? Is that what the young kids call it
It didn't
nowadays?
even originate it. Like, it dates back further.
This means Neumann is now flopping.
Welcome to History of Flossing, the podcast, the sub-podcast of Wyverns and Weirdos.
Oh dear.
So Bertie is congratulating Tanner on her hard work. And then he's going, all right. How's the stock looking, Tanner?
We're quite low.
Excellent. Okay. We're gonna take a little detour. Okay. So we're gonna need to be replenishing that stock, of course. But we've been tasked to do a very lucrative quest by you remember well.
Is this
those people that
conversation
didn't kill
happening
us.
like at the table or away?
I imagine that they stood they're to the side. I mean, you might be able to hear them if you want to.
I don't know. I was like, if I'm at the table, I would have interjected like, the assholes we ran into.
You could just yell it out over.
Hey Tanap, you remember that asshole who was obsessed with chaos? We're gonna go fight him.
Oh, alright, I don't know about fight. We're gonna go and reconnaissance something. Shouldn't be too difficult. Do you want to come along?
I guess.
They're offering
if
us
you need.
a cut of
10 grand, 10,000 gold pieces.
1,000
You heard it here
pieces.
first off.
Well, it's what 10 grand in silver, which is
Well, yeah,
probably the more
10 grand in
commonly
silver.
used.
Yeah. So it's quite looking at the books, it's going to be quite good. Especially while we have to replenish our stock, you know.
Yeah.
But it's up to you. I'm not going to force your hand.
Well, I think the journey should give me some time to actually make up some new stuff.
That's what I was thinking.
I think I might be on the verge of actually being able to get some legitimate stock.
Legitimate stock. Oh, don't stretch yourself for that, Tanner. I mean, the amount of stock we've been selling that isn't legitimate, and they
Would it be perception for me to be able to overhear this, or can I just hear this?
I imagine she's slightly quiet and saying
Yeah,
that, but-
roll me a perception check. It'll be hard, but you have really good perception.
You keep rolling really well too.
No. That's an 8. Wait,
What
hold
do
on.
your
What
elf ears
was
hear?
it that you specifically said legitimate?
Yeah.
Can I retcon that Anya mishears it as illegitimate stock?
Sure.
Turnip, you are trying to fake Bertie's elixir?
What?
What was that?
You said illegitimate stock.
I said no such
You're
thing.
trying to
No.
make fakes?
No
I
way.
said no such thing.
What are you talking about?
Well, then what was it that you did say?
None of your business.
Yeah, we're having a conversation here.
Well, if you are trying to have a private conversation, maybe don't have it in a tavern.
Noisy place like a tavern is usually the perfect place to have a private conversation.
Well, then why are you getting bothered at someone overhearing a conversation in a noisy tavern?
I'm gonna get some wine. Do you want some wine, Tennant?
I'll
Let's
have
get
some
wine.
It's at this point
buy
Newman
some-
comes.
I will also have some wine.
Private conversation. I like private conversations. What are we talking about?
Barkeep! Yeah, what's about some wine? Wine would be great.
Yes, Bertie is shouting us wine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I came at the right time.
Cheap stuff then.
Probably about $1 for the bottle, which
Yeah.
will
He buys that.
do your what? Probably 2 glasses.
Excellent.
Each
He
for the bottle.
buys that for you and he like pours it very fancily. With like the biggest
Like
smile
a
that does not
bartender's
leave his
pour where they
face.
like rotate
Yeah,
the wine
precisely.
bottle.
No.
Yes,
no.
actually exactly a bartender's pour.
Actually, you have a fancy glass decanter, which I don't think you've sold. You
No,
got this
I
glass decanter from the mansion.
Yes, yeah, I do.
If
So,
the bartender
you
is a
could pour
tabaxi,
even
it's always
more.
a bartender's pour.
You could, if you wanted to, pour it even fancier.
Yes, okay, but he does that and he pours it with almost the exact skill and ease of a bartender.
All right. So, there you have night of
Yeah,
light
a very
drinking.
fancy 1 gold bottle of wine.
I mean, it's nothing to.
I'd say it's a cheeky.
Ah,
It's not-
cheeky
it's not-
1 gold bottle of wine.
It's not cheap plonk.
Yeah.
But it's not like
It's not what
fancy
Bertie would
symphonian
normally
stuff.
like.
It's a $30 bottle of wine.
But he's not a very generous chap.
It's a $30 bottle of wine.
Yeah.
From a decant.
Yeah. A fancy crystal
Yeah.
decanter. Yeah.
Yeah.
If any of you are Auntie Donna fans, you probably are understanding what Jake and I are referencing.
Oh, okay. I appreciate the reference, even though I don't know it.
All right.
We'll show you in the break.
So, the next morning, you have your breakfast and make your way to cigars.
Anya's hungover.
From 2 wines, or did you
It
have
was
more?
cheap wine.
I don't know, but I rolled a 2 on
How
Constitution,
about you
and
just-
there's no con mod.
How about you woke up on the well? How do you meditate? Do you meditate on your bed or?
Yeah, she couldn't sleep through the alcohol, so now she's hungover.
All right, because I was just gonna say you could have just had a bad morning. Like you know how you just wake up some mornings and you're like, it's like
She hadn't
You woke
eaten
up on the wrong
properly
side
the
of the
day
bed,
before,
really.
so she's just hungover.
yeah.
Fair.
Some people are lightweights, or some drinking works.
again,
Okay,
no,
are we really gonna get into the educational idea of drinking right now? People can get hungover.
Anya is a lightweight. She
Yeah.
did have
She hasn't drunk very often.
she did have only a couple of drinks and then passed out.
Yeah.
And a barbarian had to
canonical.
catch
Wait,
her.
wait,
before.
yeah. That has surfaced itself, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep,
The dice want it to be true.
the
and
dice
so it
want
is.
it to be
Anya
true.
is a lightweight.
Actually, just a really quick point as well. Once Bertie's finished his meditation, I'm assuming there's like a bathroom, like there's like a place where you have a bath in this tavern
Yeah,
that's like private.
yeah.
So he like goes there and he's like, he's gonna read that like the creepy book that he has because he just wants to be away
All
from
right.
this creepy group, this group of nosy people. And he wakes up surprisingly at the same time he does.
Anya's a scout. Her job is to scout
Yeah.
things.
She's a nosy girl.
She's
Alright.
a nosy
Yeah,
girl.
so he's also checking out that tattoo.
Okay.
So, yeah. just say that's a thing he's done.
Okay, yeah. So the pages of the book are exactly as presented in the replica I made you,
Which is
completely
awesome.
blank
All blank.
with burnt looking edges. Burnt looking but pristine. Like just a veneer of a burnt look. rather than actual. But they also feel ashen to run your. If you run your thumb along the edge of the page, and it feels ashen, but it's still a straight edge.
Just
yeah, but-
FYI, Darby goes like above and beyond for our personal immersion. So like,
Yeah, thank you.
props to Darby. Like
Oh,
our
thank you
campaign
so
guides
much.
Literal
even
props.
as well.
Instagram by the time it's done.
It's insane.
It's really good. I
So
love
This-
it.
this
shout
is-
out to Darby.
This is the first campaign where I've dabbled with props, and so
I
this
really
And you've done so
tome
well.
is the first thing that I've done.
It's legit so
Um,
good. I will have a picture of it on Instagram
yes.
once this episode airs.
Yeah, for the audio listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting. Fun book time.
Yeah. I've just realised what we could do that Monday where we're having the premiere party,
Oh yeah.
because that's the week I'm planning on launching.
Oh yes, that'd be awesome. Then.
Yay!
Oh, yes, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Little premiere party.
I like the
Yeah.
sound of that.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Nice.
you guys already know that happened probably.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, back to the session. So you make your way to Cigar's place. Do you bring the cart and mule?
So that's the problem because we can. Yeah, there's probably not much point bringing the cart and mule.
Maybe bring it to Cigars and leave it with
oh, yeah,
him.
True.
Like,
Alright, I do that.
just
I'll,
for
if you have enough
safekeeping?
space, what does it look like? Last time I was there, did it look like there'd be enough space to keep that there?
I feel like he's crazy enough that he'd find somewhere
Yeah.
to keep it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he'd probably be able to find a space.
Just
for
a mule and cart,
like,
just in the middle of
or-
this crazy house where he's got
Be
all
like-
these contraptions.
Open his door and Brody's like, "Hey, weird question. I have a mule and cart. Do you have anywhere I can keep it? For a
He's
good
like, bring it
price?
on in.
Or free?"
I've got I can keep it here for you.
Damn it.
Yes. For the time being.
Darby, it's really important. Does he keep it in the house like a crazy person? Please.
Okay. Now, I'll just let you know. So the mule's name is Montgomery Muley Muriel Muleson the Mule. So you need to give her.
I forgot
them
about Montgomery.
take care of them for me.
And take care of the rug inside. It's very precious to me.
Oh yeah, it has sentimental value to Neumann. Really
If it becomes sentient, burn it to the ground.
Will do. All right. So good news and bad news. So the bad news is that my contacts in Silverkeep are currently unavailable to open access to their teleportation circles.
That is bad news.
However, Ufina has offered her circle in Cliffwall. Now,
Okay.
that provides a further problem in that the most direct route from Cliffwall to the tomb is through the lake.
Aha! I made that discovery as you were saying it.
So, I gather you're a fellow artificer.
Yes, I am. We did have a very, very long conversation about
Yes.
my artificery.
Are either of you spellcasters?
I can cast 3 spells, but I am not a spellcaster.
I'm a spellcaster of sorts, yes.
Of what persuasion?
I'm a cleric.
Okay, I think that's
I'm
the
a holy
first.
man.
I mean, there's been enough stuff that it's been all but said. Like it's been revealed through context, but all but that's the first time you've actually said one of your classes out loud.
I-
Precisely.
Just come to a realization. I don't think we've ever asked what you practice in. We just always known you as the magic user.
All right.
Well, yeah.
So
I do that.
you may have a better shot with this marginally. Possibly. What are your capabilities?
Hang on. Sorry, just one little pause. Also, just one really quick pause, W. That's like normal just to show the audio thing at the bottom, not the rest of it.
Yeah, that's because of the.
Oh, thank God.
That's because
Okay.
of our bodged.
I was like, I do remember
fix.
doing that.
Yeah.
That's because of the bodged fix that we have to do.
Yeah.
It's
That's all
our
Thank you.
by
That gives me-
audio.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That gives me a lot of rest. Okay,
Yeah,
Garvey.
'cause my main interface, as I mentioned at the top of the episode, although that might not be in the audio version yet, is playing up. So
No worries.
there might not be as clean gating. That you probably are noticing a bit more Atmos in the recording this time round.
Yeah, apologies for all of the chocolate wrappers that I have opened and therefore compromised our entire podcast.
Okay.
Please don't stop listening to us because of my eating.
It's not so much that as it is like the multiple mics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what sort of capabilities do you mean?
Just because I'm not quite entirely sure how to deal with this from a in-game perspective. He's basically trying to size up what your spell capabilities are. As a cleric, you communicate to him. Essentially, you communicate to him enough that, like, okay, so this might be a risk.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this isn't a certainty, but you should have a decent chance. These aren't too tricky, so I'll give you 2 of them just in case. And he produces 2 scrolls.
Has anyone ever told you that you take a very long time to just say one thing?
All the time.
Yes, I believe I did mention something last time I was here.
I'm sure they don't mean anything by that. Please continue. I'm loving this.
I mean, I'm sure it is a very good trait in many ways.
Now, these are scrolls of water breathing.
Okay.
One of these will allow you, and up to... It will allow all of you to breathe water for 24 hours.
Guys, we're doing the underwater level.
Jeez. This is interesting. Oh.
Hopefully,
Oh, here we go.
hopefully you don't botch this twice, the casting of this.
Well, we'll see.
Because there is a little bit of a failure rate if it's not something that you're up to.
I do have a counter ideas. Being a fellow artificer, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that we can make some magical items. One of which I believe
Boats.
is a robe that can help us breathe underwater as well. Would you happen to have any of those lying around, or?
Not
May I suggest
unfortunately.
boat?
Yeah, I know, but I want to go underwater. I've never done an underwater thing.
I know, that's not me
Boats are
saying it.
boring.
I'm on board for the underwater level. But that is Anya just being like, these crazy magic users all around me and none of them think of a boat.
I'm sure we'll cross that lake when we come to it.
I mean,
Am I right?
well, good point, but you may not have the time nor opportunity to gather a boat.
Would they not sell boats in Cliffwood?
Not big boats, but are you meaning like a little rowboat?
I don't know, just a boat.
Probably not.
Well, last resort.
So,
Let's hope we can breathe underwater. Otherwise, it's
Here are
going to be a
2
very
scrolls.
short trip.
here are 2 scrolls. So, should they fail, should one of them fail, hopefully one of them should at least succeed.
And
Should one of them fail though, it might be a bit of a trek to get back. So, I will be away in Durham in about a week for a meeting of the convocation. So if you would like to meet me there, then we should
And,
line up about then.
And feel free to talk to your buddy, who we weren't able to get in
Yes.
touch with as well.
Yes.
So,
Ulrich will be there as well, because it is a meeting of the convocation. So,
one last thing as well. Say, for example, we do not muster a boat. We cannot use the scrolls. Are there any dangers we should know about going around the lake, or is that just a matter of time?
it's a matter of time.
Yes. And are there any dangers within the lake? Don't know why I went a bit British.
It is near the tomb, so there are, and the lake itself is essentially a massive tear in the planescape.
Oh, no.
Oh, that sounds very promising and very safe.
It's a connection to the elemental plane of water. So there might be some. Plus the fact that it's near the tomb of the ancient wizard, there's some extra magical energies there. So
what you are saying is it's going to be a very fun trip, and we're going to have a very good time.
I wonder how magical fish taste.
Oh, you're a cat.
I wonder if the magic enhances the flavour.
I guess we'll find out.
depends on the fish and depends on the magic.
And depends on the flavor.
Well,
No, it's the flavor that depends on the fish and the magic.
But the fish and the magic not depend on the flavor.
Oh boy.
No. It's not a two-way dependency, it's a one-way dependency.
How do you know that if you have not tried all
I'm
of
an
the fish and
alchemist.
all of the flavors?
I am an alchemist, I know.
Maybe
these
as an
things.
alchemist you should have a more open mind.
I'm
I
sure
have
she
an
doesn't mean
open mind,
anything
I just
by
know
it.
these things.
It's
was
be
it
fine.
Hippocrates, the guy you don't like?
No, Socrates.
Stop being Socrates right now.
It's so fun to be because it's so annoying.
Alright, so teleportation circle to Athena's. It was reasonably easy for me to deal with for you. Yes, so 2 scrolls of water breathing, and I guess I should give you a way of getting in contact with me once things are finished, so I know where you're going to meet me, so that I can know to bring your mule and cart. So, and he produces one more scroll. This is a scroll of sending. It'll do one message to me. I know. So you should both be able to do. I believe sending's on the artificer.
Unless you've got maybe some stones of sending.
Not at the moment. I don't tend to craft items so much. I tend to do a bit of potion work and the occasional scroll for future use. But
As we've noticed.
yes.
You're just handing out
Excellent.
scrolls like crazy.
Well, no, I set to work on these after I found out that the path you would have to tread to have a chance of beating the wizards there.
It's greatly appreciated.
Yes, and I very much appreciate your efforts.
And we appreciate the coin.
Precisely, my friend. My cat associate
All right.
person.
So, are you ready?
One question.
Yes.
Do you know what a thermos is?
Yes. It is a mundane method of keeping liquids at temperature.
Oui. I was not sure if that was something that was local to this area. I have traveled a lot that the locals here might know of it. Do you have a thermos?
No, I have magical means.
May we bring some tea with us? For the road?
For the road.
How nice, some tea, a trip to the lake. Oh, it's like a picnic.
Exactly.
Have you got a container I can put it in?
Let's find out.
I do. I've got a flask.
So if not, I could give you a cup of tea before you head off.
You might need to.
But I don't have any.
Yeah, I'm all ready to have some tea right now, to be honest.
All right.
We will enjoy our tea now, and if you have a spare water flask lying around, I will compensate in coin.
Unfortunately, I do not.
Well, that is less coin for you and less tea for me. So, we are all losers here, I guess.
So he serves up the tea, and yeah, so you have your tea, and then he starts to work activating the teleportation circle, making the alterations in the runes that send it. to a particular area that links it up with a particular circle on the other end, and you see the certain glyphs on the circle start to glow and light up and say, "All right, on you go. Athena should be waiting on the other side."
By the way, I rolled for her already, and she's a 7.
Seems about right.
Just from the name, like.
Yeah. Gotta be
Plus
pretty
1 modifier for hot name, hot babe name.
All right. So, step through the circle.
We do that.
All
do
right.
that. Yes.
And you come out the other side in a laboratory of sorts that seems to have remnants of undead and bones and the like. But the walls are a vibrant pink.
I love
Oh, nice.
her. Already, I am in love.
And you see
Me
greeting you,
as a player am in love with this character.
and you see in front of you this young, surprisingly young for a member of the convocation, bright yellow-haired gnomish woman who you take to be Athena. Hi, I'm Athena. Pleased to meet you.
I love her. Anya holds out her hand and shakes it. It is a pleasure.
So,
I really like your place.
yeah, most of the other members of the convocation find it a bit weird.
But most of the other members of the convocation are also a bit weird. So who are we to judge?
Well, if I went too dark, people might get the wrong idea, me being a necromancer and all. But I'm purely in it to prevent the darker sides of necromancy.
What a noble
Wonderful.
goal.
Yes. I mean, of course, revivify is a necromantic spell, is it not?
Precisely.
You and I are going to be fast friends, I think.
Oh, wonderful. So, can I help you with anything before you go?
How about some tea?
I was waiting for it.
Like, I have nothing else.
What is your beverage of choice? I mean, the last guy was tea. Are you tea? Are you hot chocolate? Are you straight alcohol? I'm just trying to get a read for
Usually
who you are as a liquid.
Usually a nice Symphonian wine.
I can tell.
We are going to be very fast friends.
But it's probably a little early in the day for that, isn't it?
Oh, it's never too early.
Have you ever...
Buddy,
I use the accent.
we are on the level here.
Have you ever adventured before?
Oh, yeah.
And you still think it's too early?
Well, you gotta keep your wits about you.
Well,
I see you've adventured before.
We are, so we're fine.
During the dropout, though, I did sort of explain what I was picturing Athena to look like.
We have a unanimous agreeal here that Athena looks like Abby from NCIS if she was blonde.
and the gnome.
Except a lot shorter.
Except a gnome. Oh.
Excellent.
So,
Well, aside from the wine, which I guess we will go without. I don't know if there is anything else you can do to help prepare us. Do you know much about the lake, or?
it's not really my specialty all that much.
Know possibly who we could talk to learn more a little bit about it. Apparently we might run into some tasty fish. I want to know what to expect.
I mean,
What condiments to bring?
Yeah.
if you had the time, I might have recommended that you try out the fish locally, because it's kind of what we do here.
I am sure we will come back.
Would you perhaps describe
Get
the
some
flavour
to go.
as magical?
I mean, I guess.
She makes an indescribable face, according to Darby's expression. That's all we need to know.
Speaking of condiments, actually, working in necromancy, surely there'd be preservation of a body, possibly through mundane means. Do you have any salt, Omar? Salt makes everything taste better.
Sure.
Thanks. I'll add salt to my inventory.
Just as
Probably
a
enough
separate
salt for
standing,
3 meals.
For 3 meals.
is this a saline lake by any chance?
Oh no.
No.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, well, I guess it's like a weird magical lake, so it could be much worse.
She notices Haffron. What are you gonna do with your bird?
I was actually just going to say earlier, I want to see Haffron swim.
That is a good question. This scroll, do we know if it will work on Haffron too?
I mean, the instructions on the page that he's written down for me say up to 10 people, so I don't know whether that includes birds.
I am not a magic user. Does that include birds? I
Should
don't know.
work on him. The trouble will be his movement, really.
Oh, he
He'll
won't
get-
have to. He can nest in my hair. He
But
does that most of the time anyway.
Yeah, even after the fact, it might be a little difficult for him with the wet feathers and all.
I mean, he's a
Is
bird.
he,
He could probably just fly over the lake.
Is he a familiar?
Oh, yes. We.
You could change him.
Excusez-moi?
You could change his form.
I'm sorry, what? This is new information to me.
Yeah, you can cast find familiar to change his form.
You can do that?
This is something that I did not know I could do. So you are saying I could change him to a fish? Like what?
Is this something Eddie didn't know either?
Yeah, also. Well, kind of. It's something I kind of knew I could do, but also didn't. But I feel like it's also in character for Anya
Yeah.
not to know.
That's fair.
I just did some quick Googling, hoping I could find if D&D had a birdfish.
There's a cat bird
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
Why-
called a
great.
tressum.
Why would they have a birdfish?
Why do they have half the stuff they have?
I mean, they have like owl bears and like. So.
Bugbears.
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
typical options are a bat, cat,
Bugbears.
crab, frog, hawk, lizard, octopus, owl, poisonous snake, fish, rat, raven, seahorse, spider, or weasel.
Okay, so the standouts for me were
Crab,
octopus, which
octopus,
is meh,
seahorse. Crab,
seahorse,
octopus,
and crab is my favorite.
Okay, but if I change him into an octopus, does his intelligence, like, surpass mine?
His stats shift to his intelligence won't. No.
So cool.
That's,
I think
that's,
the highest is like a +3 to intelligence.
D&D overlords who chose those stats for octopuses clearly octopi clearly have not
octopus
met an
is-
octopi before.
No.
I think I read somewhere a couple of years ago that octopus is based on the etymology of octopus. Octopuses should actually be the correct one, and octopi is actually incorrect.
I should have won $1 million by now, but that doesn't mean it happened.
Perhaps octopi is the magically infused one that tastes really good.
Yeah.
Tastes like meat pie.
Unfortunately, it's not in the handbook.
Sorry, I'm just
Think-
still freaking out at the
That's
fact that I can
literally so
change him
cool,
into a
though.
cute little
That is
octopus.
so adorable. But like, so fan artists, please draw the octopus as like kind of a raven, like little raven-like features.
No.
would be cool.
Octopuses do have.
Does it get, like,
I'm not going to
like
call it a beak,
frilled
but they
Yeah.
have their mouth is of beak shape. But I forget what it's actually called.
It's called a beak.
It is a
Yeah,
beak.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
called a beak,
Yeah.
yeah.
So bird-like aesthetic, but also a little bit of fiery aesthetic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Me having confusion about a character that I wrote technically.
Yeah. So Yeah. Octopus marginally smarter than the raven with an intelligence of 3.
Okay, he's going to change into an octopus because I can't imagine him as anything else, even though a crab would be adorable, but it's just not very Hafren. So just for any of you listening at home, not that the transformation has happened yet, but just preemptively, Hafren as an octopus is a ink black octopus with red rings.
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what
It
Yep.
sounds like it looks poisonous.
But like really adorable. Poisonous but
It's
adorable.
like a blue ringed octopus, except it's a red ring,
Yeah.
which has a much better ring.
He looks
to it.
like that one Pokemon, you know, the one that's black with the red rings. It's like a cat. It's not an octopus at all, but he's like that.
See, I'm thinking of like
Yeah.
Toxicroak.
I went to Octillery because it's red with
Oh,
yellow, I think. But yeah.
Oh,
So you should be able to find an octopus on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, sweet. I'll do that.
Oh,
It's annoyingly not in the player's hand.
you mean that one?
No. I
That's
said
the
not
one
an
that I
octopus.
meant.
I said a cat.
Oh.
It's like black with red on it.
The starter Pokemon for the new generation.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's Litten.
It's Sinnoh.
Litten.
Litten.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the sort of
Nice.
imagery,
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
big Hafra vibe.
yeah.
We'll have to do a limited series of like one of the Pokemon
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Pokemon
RPGs
AU.
out there.
please.
Anyway,
I want to be the very best. Like no one ever was.
so so you find yourself
Sorry.
you make yourself towards you make your way towards the river.
Is she leading us to the
Yeah.
lake?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then she helps you through altering the ritual in a way to get Hafren into the form of an octopus. So which of you two is going to cast?
Better question. Would possibly Athena be a better choice to cast the spell for
Yeah,
us?
true.
Is it on her spell list?
Yes, it's just potluck.
Wait,
for
if it's
anyone.
on her spell list, we don't even have to use the scrolls.
She doesn't have it prepared.
But we can hand her a scroll to use if it's not like
Yeah.
like if they go out of range or whatever.
Good news, everybody. Hafren can survive 30 to 60 minutes outside of water.
It is on her spell list, so she can use it
I
without
love
having
octopus.
to roll.
Alright, cool.
Octopus.
You guys would have to roll, and the DC is 13.
well,
And the plural for octopus is octopus.
well, I've
Sorry.
I've just had a stroke of genius. The old man Cigar gave us these scrolls for us to use, but it looks like you're a lot more proficient in this sort of work. Do you happen to know water breathing? The water breathing spell?
I don't have it prepared, but if you have
We have the
scrolls,
scroll,
I
yeah.
can just quickly.
We hand you one.
So you guys can now breathe water for 24 hours.
Nice.
Tight.
It's pretty rad. I feel
Um,
like I can breathe water now.
I was just like, I was thinking, is there a way that Neumann can have like a timer going, spell-wise or something, to remind him when he needs to start worrying?
No, but you'll have
I
a bit
note
of an
down the
idea
time.
of when it's starting to fade.
Yeah.
I really hate to ask this question, Darby, but like, is there a way to protect the things we're carrying, or are they gonna get wet? Because I got books and stuff.
Well, Neumann has a bag of holding.
Yeah. I again reiterate that I have a bag of holding, but apparently no one wants to give me anything to put in it.
It's a cool. Actually, can I give you some things, Neumann? Now just a question. If I were to retrieve them, could I just reach out and grab them, or would you need to find them again?
Well, hang on. This is me as a player.
While
From
this-
memory, I think if you just reach in, the
Yeah.
object you want will come into your hands.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Oh, what?
So-
While this
Yeah.
conversation is
It
happening,
takes an action to retrieve anything, but
You don't act like you put it in there and it is in your hand, pretty much.
yes.
while they're having this conversation and discussing the bag of holding, Anya's just grabbed the bag of holding and dumped in like her tinderbox, her torches, just anything that she doesn't want to get wet, like
But
her
also,
bedroll.
He reiterates, don't put anything too sharp in there too abruptly.
She ignores him.
Uh,
She keeps putting in stuff that like there's nothing sharp that she's put in there.
Yeah.
Like at the moment it's tinderbox, torches, bedroll, her rations.
So for the time
robe.
being, we're going to use this little intellect devourer to represent Hafren, because it's the closest.
Because he's a
accurate
little
size thing.
intellect devourer. I love him.
All right.
I've got a couple of books I need to deposit. Is that cool?
Yeah, go ahead. Chuck whatever you want into the bag. I ain't got no beef. I ain't got no gripe.
But he just kind of like incredibly suspiciously has like a couple of like wrap-up parcels. And he just yeets them into the bag like as quickly as possible without anyone checking to see what's in there.
I have a feeling you've just read the special things that an octopus can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And Brady looks like
I'm
really
very excited.
uncomfortable shoving that in the bag, like putting those in the bag. But he's just like, well, cool, great, thank you, that's awesome. Yeah, great bag, really cool. I want one of my own sometime.
Yes, I fashioned it myself with the help of Tanip. He does the
Bit more
pointy fingers
survivability.
towards Tarip. Tanip.
Wow, if you can make another one, I'll talk to you about that later. Hey.
It's not how well as it stands right now. I can't make another one.
Oh, I see.
It's sort of there's a limit to how many things I can have infused. I
Well,
guess you
that's
could say at a
fine.
time.
I wouldn't
but-
want to share
but-
around my
but
secrets
in
anyway.
the future, I might be a little bit more proficient with that, and I'm pretty sure Tanip has also reached his max.
I mean,
as you would
that's
say.
technically my sack, but yeah, it's freeing
Oh,
me
how
up
good!
to.
We got a bit of a
It's
vested
it's
interest.
free.
in it.
It's freeing me up to do other stuff with what I can do.
Exactly, yeah.
How excellent!
We're doing the underwater one.
I'm concerned.
With an octopus half
Great.
friend.
How hard would it be to score up an underwater theme to our intro? Underwater themes are
I'll
always
see.
fun to do.
I'll see.
Oh yeah, I guess also Brady shows his coat in there as well. He just like
Oh,
has his he has his sleeves rolled down as well. I would like
I
to
also want
specify.
to change my cloak to sort of like a camouflage.
All right.
Camouflage looking in water. So it depends how deep that we're going to swim, but I imagine we're not going to swim in too.
Are we swimming or are we walking on the bottom of
Oh.
the ocean? And if we're walking on the bottom of the ocean, how are we staying down? I have a lot of questions, and all of them are probably going to make your life as a DM harder, but it's only because I'm so excited for this.
I mean, if you've got anything you can use to weigh yourselves down.
Wait,
you can-
we're wearing armor. We're probably very weighed down.
Oh, yeah, true.
Well, I mean, we've
I mean,
yeah.
change shirt, so you're probably going to be able to
Yeah,
sink to the
fine.
bottom.
That's
Two
great.
rapiers, spring
Yeah.
shield, drone.
Yeah.
Studded leather armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also her various everything.
And also the octopus is an octopus, so
Yeah.
Yeah, he swim.
It's so cute.
he can walk too.
He swim.
Because they walk.
Yeah.
And he can still stay.
Yeah. Anyways, my
He
cloak
can
changes.
still stay in her hair.
The cloak is like a sort of think
like
of
a little hat.
like a camo blue. pretty
That's
much.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, military camo blue.
Nice.
Now, because you've only got 24 hours with this water breathing, and your speed is halved, you're pretty much having to go at the equivalent of a fast pace.
Unless we wanted to risk using another scroll halfway, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's bad.
Yeah.
A lot of
just
chance
gotta
of
hope
that,
we
and we've
don't
only got
need
one.
to.
So that means that any wisdom checks so you can't be stealthy, and there is a
Incorrect. One of us can be stealthy. Hafren can be stealthy.
Because he's not moving.
Yeah.
He's not.
'Cause he's
actually
an
moving.
octopus.
He's attached.
And he
What's
has
the
a plus
octopus's
4 to
speed?
stealth.
yeah.
Because the octopus is attached.
And he has a 30-foot swim speed.
And passive perception scores are at a -5 penalty.
Okay.
That's no problem.
Okay.
That's still a 16
All right.
for our good old Anya.
So
Ironically.
you go into the water and allow yourselves to sink down to the bottom and start walking.
What does it feel like? Is it cold?
Yeah, it is
It's really
chill.
cold.
However, as cold as it may be, we do have warm bellies because we had some delicious hot tea
Oh,
before
the
we
tea.
before
Indeed
we
you
left.
All right.
I didn't really think out the logistics of drinking tea underwater, so I'm glad we didn't get that flask.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, you could literally just put it in front of you because we are breathing water, so like
Yeah, true.
we would breathe
Alright.
tea.
So about an hour or two into your trek, Anya, you being able to. So are you directly seeing out of Hafren at the moment, or are you passively seeing out of Hafren? Are you having your blurry vision, which would be even more blurry considering?
I can't see. We're 2 hours in.
Yeah.
I can't see why she'd be focused in. Honestly, if
I mean,
we're-
it's not really a focus to stay in, but more so to go in and out.
well then yeah, because she probably thinks this is really cool and wants to see it, and I
Yeah.
don't know whether that's just me as a player like projecting onto my character because I think it's really cool and I want to see it. But it's exciting.
And
it's something she hasn't done before. So
And I think also
yeah.
the fact that Hafren is an octopus.
oh yeah, metal.
So cool.
And perched on her head, like
Like a hat.
he can be somewhere basically that is
That is
the
eyes.
least disorienting possible. As like so
Is it a weird feeling?
This
Her
is-
being so
yeah,
connected
this
to
is-
Hafren because he's essentially jelly goo now.
this
oh,
yeah, but this is the
but
closest.
really clever jelly
This
goo.
is the closest
I love
you've been.
octopus.
This is the closest you've been to seeing normally in 10 years.
I just
wow.
he could literally have eyes where you would pretty much have your eyes
Yeah.
anyways because you don't use them, so he could just be like on your face.
If you guys are talking throughout like any of the 2 hours that have already passed, Anya's just quiet, but it's not like a quiet where you're like, oh, that person's upset. It's just like almost an amazed silence where she just can't focus on like any of the conversation you guys are having because she's just
Yeah, like, can we see much there? Or is it like almost pitch black down there?
It's
well,
fairly-
dark vision
Sorry,
would come
underlying-
into
Yeah.
effect, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, oh, yeah, 'cause we
it's
all have dark vision.
fairly dark, but the fact that it's more so elemental plane of water,
Yeah.
water rather than natural mundane water. It's one, it's brighter than it would be. Two, you've all got dark vision, so
Yeah.
you've got a decent.
Are there like
amount of
glowing
sight.
jellyfish and fishes and stuff
Yeah,
down this deep down?
if
Does it look crazy insane?
Yeah, there's like weird creatures, like weird glowing jellyfish-like creatures.
if
Um,
if,
yeah.
if you guys want, I can make something to emit some light if you want.
Oh, it's okay. I can see.
I can do that too for a
Yeah.
little extra.
Yeah.
We all have dark vision.
Yeah, but
Dark vision only goes so far. Like
There are these
basically black
hella
and white.
cool
Yeah, you
jellyfish.
can't see colour.
Yeah, if you've got the light, you
They
can see in
emit the
color.
light.
Well, I mean, if you want to.
Alright. Now I was going to use. I'm talking to Turnip now. I was going to use like my bag of blunt caltrops
Oh,
to infuse those with the 5 feet of light infusion. But did you have something else in mind? Or?
No, I was just gonna use just any old thing on at hand. Even
Yeah.
grab a rock.
Yeah. Good idea. So underwater, there's probably heaps of rocks everywhere. Yeah, I'll grab a rock and I'll infuse it.
Yeah.
Is
And
there
it does the same.
a shell or something? A pearl.
oh.
Put it on something topical
Yeah, you should keep your eye out for any pearls.
and make
I
the
am
pearl
keeping
glow.
my pearl. I spent a lot of money.
Or see if you
Wait,
can find any more.
Okay,
It could be very profitable.
it'd be
venture.
very funny if you spent all that money on a
then
pearl
we
and then
find
you just find one at the bottom of an ocean.
I mean, you find a pearl to enchant, but it's not of the value needed for the identify spell. This one's probably only worth about
Could you make
50
up the
gold.
value by having multiple pearls?
no.
Oh.
There are certain spells where you can do that, like Revivify requires 300 gold worth of diamonds rather than a 300 gold diamond. But unless it says, yeah, there's a difference between worth of and a whatever worth. X amount. Okay, so.
Anyway, yeah, she's seeing through Hafren's
yes.
eyes.
And in taking everything in, as amazing as it is, you notice dart across like your peripheral vision, just a glint of moving gold.
Well, Hafrit would enjoy that.
As in,
I don't like that myself personally.
There's a problem there.
Yeah.
Because Hafren is still Hafren.
Okay, was it gold color or shine?
Hafren doesn't quite have the passive perception in this form to pick up on it himself.
But Hafren is fusing in with me as well.
Okay,
It goes both ways.
It's
How
in
far
the
away
vision,
was it?
but it's not in a spot that he really takes note of it. Whereas you're a bit more keyed in, and you're able to take note.
Okay, can she try and sort of focus on it to see? Can I roll perception?
It's out of roll perception. It's
I'll roll a nat 20 and you'll be like, it's out of sight. Fuck you.
because you've got like +9 or so. No, +6. So
19?
19. No, it's out.
Like I said.
It was probably about a DC 25. So you would have needed
which
a
I could
natural
have made.
You would have needed about a natural 19.
Yeah. There is something that has just passed by. I don't know whether it was golden. I don't know whether dangerous or not, but
Wasn't a fish,
just so you're aware.
Or wasn't a fish-shaped thing? Or...
I don't know. It was too fast for me to see.
That's very relaxing to
Well,
hear.
Newman's gonna have a look around in it as well because he's wondering if it's a tasty fish. He doesn't know if it's a fish or not, but he wants to have a look around because it's a little bit concerning.
All right.
Anya
roll
also, pulls out her rapier just to
probably
have
an
it ready.
investigation check for this one
Investigation.
because it's more exploratory than looking out.
13.
13. Okay, so you managed to kind of combination of looking around and feeling around, and you managed to come across something that and grab at it with your hand, and it's like, oh, this is big and scaly, and you feel as if something is now looming over you, and you look up and see this dark blue scaled creature that's almost lizard-like in a semi-humanoid way. Its torso around the hips flowing down into a fish-like or eel-like tail.
Is this a mermaid except a lizard mermaid? Oh my god!
Roll me.
I'm having the best time right now.
Arcana check.
That's a 4. Anya has no idea, but
you
she's
can roll
having
this
a
as well.
time.
Actually seeing it directly.
Much better. 12.
All right, 12 is probably enough to get a little bit from this.
Cody, did you want to try?
So
I don't
this
think you've seen her. I think because you guys are...
So this creature is Mero. Essentially corrupted mermaids. Like
great.
merfolk corrupted by dark magic.
Because I was about to think like, do I want to say hello and be friendly with it, or do I want to say hello with an arrow?
And we're going to go to break.
Oh.
And when we get back, we're going to go into combat.
For the love of all of you, please look up Mero. They look heavy metal.
I have 2 minutes.
I am questioning something though. As a character's knowledge, how would arrows work underwater?
So, ranged weapons are at disadvantage in their regular range and automatically miss at long range.
So out of there.
So we in Rapier Town now. Anyway, shall we wrap up the end of the episode? Sorry for listening to us.
Well, and-
sorry for listening.
Goodbye.
Got it.